The danger that I've seen is the more women you get with, the more it messes you up psychologically. And by the time you get to 30, what you were saying, 18 to 30, your body's built habit. It's like gym. If you've been gymming from 18 to 30, it's going to be difficult for you to just stop gymming and be like, no, I'm just going to not gym. So when you get used to chasing skirts and sleeping with different women to accumulate the experience, it's going to be difficult for you to settle down at 30. And that's why a lot of married guys end up cheating, chasing young girls, but they married because the habits that he's built. The question now...
And you get better at it.
No, of course. What would make you stop? Because as soon as you see a chick, you already know what to say. You know when she giggles like this. So
you're making 10K at 24, getting the hottest girl. Now you're making 100K at 32.
So the solution...
You're going to be flying.
The solution we need to try and figure out, at least from my perspective, because you're younger than me and I'm supposed to, as a grown man, give you good advice. I could tell you, I ride, shy, I'm an experience, but I've seen what that does to guys. But at the same time, I can't be like, no, I'm just, semen retention, you are the prize. We need to find a solution of how can we get young gents to gain the experience, but without building the type of habit that makes them rubbish.
Okay. So that was a nice perspective from these guys. I don't know if this is their podcast name, Ultra Podcast. I'm not sure. Basically, he's saying that, if you are a young guy and you grow up like a lot of us did, hearing all these things like, oh, how many girlfriends you got, how many do this, and you end up wanting to mess with a lot of girls and you end up chasing skirts, as he calls it, then it will mess you up long term when you are trying to be a committed man down the line. And I could say there's some truth to that, but I feel like for any man, especially any man of value that has options, it's gonna be an everyday choice to be a committed man, whether you have a lot of experience or you don't. Because we're hardwired to want to, spread our seed far and wide. So it does take a lot of discipline. So if you didn't build that discipline between those ages of like 18 and 30, of course, it's going to be hard for you to just kind of flip that switch to get with a woman and just only want to be with her. Like I see a lot of guys, the problem they have is they were like that. Like, okay, yeah, I've messed with all these different women and now I think I want to settle down. And when you get with that one woman, yeah, sure, through those first few months, maybe even a year or so, you are able to kind of just solely focus on her. But after a while, your eyes will start to wander. You're going to look at other women. You're going to always find other women attractive. You're going to always want to have sex with other women sometimes. It's just a matter if you act on it or not. So I do think young men should definitely learn how to, be a little bit more disciplined growing up. I wish I was a little bit more disciplined throughout my early 20s, but luckily once I got to those mid 20s, 24, 25, 26 is when I kind of cooled down and became more disciplined and just stopped, out here slinging pipe recklessly, right? Because, that's what I was doing from probably the age of when I lost my virginity around like 11, 12 up until like my mid 20s, just kind of doing what I wanted and having my way with it. And, I noticed the chaos it brought into my life, whether it was, girls being disgruntled, and I've had knives put in my tires. I've had a girl try to, get me put in jail. I've been through a lot of situations that woke me up. Some guys, they don't have those situations that wake them up until a little bit later on in life, when they notice like, dang, I've been spending a lot of time bullshitting, right? And that time I spent bullshitting, I've been messing with all these different women. Now I don't even have the skills or the discipline to be a committed man, which, if you want to be in a committed relationship, that's one thing. But if you don't want to, don't try to force yourself into that situation, and don't look at yourself as being rubbish or like a bad man because you don't want to be with one woman. I think all of us are capable of it, but I think a lot of men nowadays, they rather exercise their options. And I don't mind the guy exercising his options. I would just say, make sure when you are exercising the best of your options, not just out here messing with any girl. Because if you're out here messing with any girl, like I said, it's going to bring chaos into your life. Now, if you got a good woman and or you meet a good woman, but you tell her like, yo, I'm not a monogamous guy, I don't know what to like identify as my relationship, or you identify as poly or whatever, and you tell her that, like I always say, you want volunteers, not victims. You want girls knowing what you were about from jump, rather than women finding out later on that you were kind of lying about wanting to be only with her. And a lot of guys, like I tell men all the time, like, don't make those promises early on. Don't make those promises early on. If you're going to make any promises, make sure you're 100% sure. You need to get through that honeymoon phase of you first loving her and she's doing all these nice things for you, because eventually it's going to come to a point where her being around you is gonna be like a normalcy to it, and it's not gonna be that buzz and that spark 24/7 like it was in the beginning. It's still gonna be there. It's gonna be those moments in time where you look at her like, dang, I really love this girl. But there's going to be those times where, maybe I just got in an argument or this, that, and the third, and you're having second thoughts about those promises that you made early on. And like I said, you don't want to really make those promises at all. But if you do, like, tell her that, I'm only going to be with you and not going to, be with, have sex with any other woman, or, I don't want multiple relationships and stuff like that. If you don't tell her that, you leave that option open. You leave that option open, and it makes it better for you going on down the line. But it's all about being a honest man. I think that's what makes a guy not quote unquote rubbish, is being an honest man, being a guy that stands on what he believes in, moving with integrity, and also, accountability, taking accountability for your mistakes. If you do make a mistake in the relationship, your girl catches you doing whatever, take accountability immediately so she can decide if she still wants to be with you or not. But to his original point about just chasing skirts all the time, yeah, it's really a waste of time. You want the skirts to be chasing you. That's what I tell guys. You want the skirts to be chasing you. Be on your purpose. Like this is what us as like older guys, we need to be like showing the younger guys. It's like, we're not out here chasing skirts. We're not swiping on these dating apps. Like, no, we're on our purpose. We're making moves. We're building businesses. We're working on ourselves, and women are chasing us. That's the type of life you want to live as a man. But let me know what y'all think about this video down below. As always, love y'all. I'm out.